Hello, people. Today I'm going to be doing a review for the new Fast and Furious film, F9. I was supposed to see it a while ago, but then I had a family trip to go on, and so here I am on Wednesday, almost a whole week late, to seeing this movie. But of course I have to review it. I've seen all the other Fast and Furious movies, and just to sum up how I feel about them, I like 2 or 3. I'm not saying like I like the first, and the second, and third movie. I'm saying out of the 10 movies, or 9, I really only like 2 or 3 out of them. So that's just how I feel. And I feel like these movies should be right up my alley. And I do get enjoyment out of all of them at moments, at least. But when it comes to what I think is like a good movie, or what I would put on just for myself, there's only 2 or 3 in here that I would really, just, go for. So yeah, F9, I was expecting the most madness we've ever had in a Fast and Furious movie yet, and that is 100% true. And with the last movie, we lost, and what didn't work about most about this movie is because in F8, we didn't have Brian with us, and we split up Vin Diesel from the rest of the family, and so something felt kind of empty, and The Rock wasn't in it that much, and he kind of had like his side quest was Jason Statham, and so everything was there. It's just it never felt connected like the previous movies do. And so with this movie, I knew that The Rock isn't even in this one, and he's really what started to make the franchise good in the first place. So in this, when I was like, okay, so we have The Rock's not in it, but we're gonna hopefully keep our characters together. And with this movie, even though our characters are together again, I can officially say I've kind of stopped caring, because I think personally, with the way that the franchise is going, I just think they should have ended it at 7, and 7 would have been a perfect ending to the series. Because when you look at 8 and 9, it's like, okay, what are you doing? And because I know they have 2 more that they want to do, and that's it. But still, I felt like 7 would have been the perfect ending. And really, I'm just at this stage. I'm like, okay, this is fine. These movies are fine after 7, but what's the point? And that's where I feel like at right now. And another problem I had with this movie, it's a very action-heavy movie. There's tons of action. I'd say about maybe a solid 45% of the movie is action. And so if you get action, you either get the car fu that we're used to, or the hand-to-hand combat. And I had no idea what to expect when it comes to hand-to-hand, because I really like me a good hand-to-hand combat that's shot well. And I'll just say, there is just this hand-to-hand combat in this movie. One scene in particular, we see it in the trailer, but they show like the best shots of it to make it look great. But it was really some of the most shaky, quick cut stuff I've ever seen, to be completely honest. And of course, the biggest problem with this movie is just the plot. And there is a plot. It's just the movie knows you don't necessarily care about the plot that much. You just want to see some cars explode. And so the plot points are briefly went through. I swear, like within the first 5 minutes, instead of establishing stuff, immediately into plot. And that's okay for this type of movie, but still, but when you have such a complicated not virus, but like codes of computers sending up this to this message, so this won't happen to this thing, just there's a lot of MacGuffins here. And it's something that I expect, but this movie, it just made it particularly forgettable, because just because they showed all the money shots in the trailers already. Within the marketing, if you've been following the marketing for this movie closely, you've already seen the highlights of the movie, except for, kind of spoiler alert, 3, 2, 1, I want to say it, except for like the space scene itself, most of it's given away in the marketing. So, that's all I have to say about that. And even though this movie introduces the more family elements than other movies, of course, they introduce, Vin Diesel's son in the 8th movie, Fast and Furious 7, they had the goodbye to Paul Walker, and of course they've always had Vin Diesel saying, yeah, we're family, and that's good, and that's a good theme to have in these movies, to at least have some type of core. But in this movie, it just didn't stick the landing like the others. I know this movie switched up the writers, so that's what I am going to say is the problem here, because that's the only difference I can think of. And of course, this is the problem I have with every single other Fast and Furious movie. The antagonists continue to suck. They just don't. They just don't do it for me. They really, really don't. It's just forgettable villain after another one. I know they've had some good actors. I know Luke Evans did a good job in Fast and Furious 6. I know Charlize Theron. She's the villain for the last two movies. And of course, we've had John Cena. But, it's a lot of big name actors playing crappy roles. So, yeah, and let's get into what I liked about this movie, because this movie it's not a bad movie. Well, yes, it is a bad movie. I'll say that for sure. In fact, I will go as far as length to say it is technically, if I had no bias or like watched Fast and Furious before or anything, this is a terrible movie to become like. But I will say I had enough fun with it to get past what I didn't like. The Carfu is the most fun Carfu we've ever had, I would say. Well, maybe in Fast 7 we had a little bit more fun with it, but this movie definitely had a lot to bring to the table, particularly like with the magnets. All that's really fun, and that they did not show too much of that in the trailers. And so the magnets, with the twist thing, it was just all really fun because you don't know what's going to happen and you just want to see cars go kaboom. And so they understand what you want to see visually, and that's what, it just makes the movie really fun because, I was never bored throughout this movie. I was always thoroughly entertained by what I was seeing on the screen, even though it has very big problems story-wise, script-wise. I was always entertained with what I was seeing on screen. And at this point, I don't understand the people that see these movies and say, remember when these movies were about street racing? Because I never took them seriously that way, and I still don't take them seriously now. What the movie started to do was to accept how cheesy that they were and start to go all bonkers, which is the direction I wanted them to go in. So I prefer these newer bonker movies far more than the street racing beginning movies, just because simply I don't care about street racing. I just want to see cars go kaboom. So yeah, another thing I liked was, I just love seeing Vin Diesel and John Cena just try to kill each other. It's very entertaining, I'll say that for sure. And yeah, overall, do I say I like this movie? I don't know. Do I say I don't like this movie? I don't know. And so I really kind of want to go in the middle here. I'll say, like I said, technically as a movie, this is complete garbage. It's like a 3 out of 10 when it comes to if you're just looking at it for criticism. If you're looking at it for entertainment, on the other hand, it's like an 8 out of 10. So what I did with that is I put them together, and I want to give Fast and Furious 9 or F9 or whatever it's called a 5.5 out of 10. And I will say, even though it's a 5.5 out of 10, it's a very enjoyable 5.5 out of 10. The 5.5 is just really me trying to ease my conscience, knowing that it's actually still not the best movie in the world. So, yeah, if you liked, I know there's a lot of people that really hated this movie, calling it the worst one, and I don't think so. I think we've had worse, and particularly within the ones before Fast 5. So, yeah, anyways, that's my review for F9. So anyways, like, share, subscribe, and stuff like that, and adios.